You're listening to Workforce Innovation News, powered by WIOA 23. Get ready to hear about all things workforce development and workforce innovation. And now, on to the episode.
Hello and welcome to WIN, Workforce Innovation News. I am Jamie Korda-Hijawi, the director for WIOA 23. Today, I have a couple of guests with me. We have Tony Logue, WIOA 23's Operations Coordinator, and then we also are joined with Matt Enlow from Magura. So welcome, both of you. I'm excited to have you both here. I've talked to Matt before during a panel regarding the same thing that we're going to talk today. So I know you have some good information to share, and Tony is the guru on the topic we're discussing today. So of course, we've got to have him in as well. So in past episodes, we've talked about incumbent worker training, and today I really wanted to highlight a success story from incumbent worker training. And Matt, you are the epitome of success for incumbent worker training in WIOA 23. So that's why we keep calling you up every time we need someone to talk about it. Thanks. So thanks again for being here. I will go ahead and Matt, if you just want to give a brief introduction about yourself, kind of your background, and then we'll have Tony talk a little bit more about incumbent worker, and we'll get to know your story a little bit more.
Okay, so my name is Matt Enlow. I work for Magura USA. Here we're in Southern Illinois. We are a German-owned company, and Southern Illinois is our U.S. base, so we represent all of North America. Been with the company for, I think, 15 years now. And we got hooked up with you guys from RCDC, from our Richland County Development Corporation. Courtney Yockey and Tony stopped by. We learned about the program, and we had a need. So we worked together with Tony to fit into the program, and it's been excellent. We saw great results from it.
Wonderful, too cool. I love hearing that. Me and Tony were talking before the podcast, and we were wondering, how did this all start? And I think it started before I even got here. I can't even take any credit for it. It's been going on. So Tony, can you go ahead and for our listeners, just give a recap on what incumbent worker training is?
Sure. So incumbent worker is just any training that a company wants to give their existing employees to give them some upgraded skills, to maybe give them a promotion or a wage increase. It's all about growing the company. And I guess the perfect example of an incumbent worker would be, we give somebody some training, we fund that training, they get a promotion as a result of the training, leaving a vacancy where they just came from for that company to hire somebody in that spot, just growing the company. And there's many different nuances in the incumbent worker field, but that's kind of an overview of what we work with.
So that it's not only benefiting the company with growth, but it's also benefiting the individual with gaining these new skills and making them more marketable and getting them a promotion out of it.
Absolutely. That's the name of the game. It's what we want to be. We want to help the company be more marketable and competitive in the global market in their selected industry, and also give the individual a little bit of marketability. So if something does happen within their company, they have that training that can move on with them.
That's a good deal. So Matt, Courtney hooks you up with Tony, and Courtney does so many great things for us. I just wish we had one of him in every one of our counties. He does great. So Courtney makes that connection. Tony comes in and talks to you and describes incumbent worker training. And then what did it look like for you there at Magura?
So at the time with Magura, we were talking about manufacturing in the U.S. We had manufacturing capacity in Asia and in Germany, and it made sense to have manufacturing capacity in our region as well. But we didn't have the expertise. So what Tony and Courtney helped us do was we found a class in Minnesota. I think it was an online course that was a certification in manufacturing processes. And I attended that class and got the certificate. And then we brought that knowledge kind of into the company and changed the way that we did things here in the operations. So
you went from, if I understand and remember correctly, just warehousing vehicle parts or bike parts?
Yeah, power sports, bicycle, e-mobility, this kind of thing.
Good deal. So you were warehousing those items, and then you were wanting to expand into manufacturing them. So what was the certificate that you received out of the deal?
It was a certificate in manufacturing management. So I think on the accounting terms, we do like repackaging. We don't really handle any real raw materials, but it would still, we consider it to be like a little light manufacturing around here. It's still many subcomponents, up to 15 small subcomponents to make one kit.
Okay. So you were able to then expand from just warehousing, as if that's nothing. That's a big deal. From warehousing to doing this light manufacturing. What did that look like for the company as it grew? Was there double in employment? What did that look like for you guys?
So in that position, we created 3 new positions because of that. Directly because of that, we actually worked on some other projects too. Did some cellular manufacturing and created a work cell within our warehouse for this stuff to be done at. And we've seen tremendous growth from this. I don't really have any numbers here in front of me. I should, but I would say over the last 3 years, our sales have more than doubled. So as a direct result of the market, and also, we've been able to be very efficient and streamline this.
That's impressive. That's pretty cool.
That's been great.
So then that is great for the company, and we all want to see companies succeed, but we also want to pay attention to what we're doing for the individual. What has it done for you personally? How has the incumbent worker training helped?
It's been excellent for me. The certificate gives me like that, I don't know, something about that piece of paper gives you that sense of security. So it's been excellent for me. But one of the things I mentioned to Tony was after the certificate, I felt like I put on a pair of Lean 6 glasses, and now I see everything from a lean perspective. So it's been very valuable for me, and we've really kind of honed our processes within the building because of that education. So I'm very appreciative of it.
So not only have your sales increased, you're also saving money because you're doing lean manufacturing. You have gained some confidence and some belief in yourself. So like what's the deal with incumbent worker training? Why aren't we doing this everywhere?
I've screamed it from the rooftops to the people around town. It's been a game changer for us here. And yeah, I'm very, very appreciative of it. It's a no-brainer.
Tony, did you have some questions that you were going to ask?
I think the most important question I had when I talked to Matt earlier was, hey, what came out of this for the company as far as growing? But we've already covered that when you said they've hired 3 or created 3 new positions, which is wonderful. I'm just curious, Matt, is there anything in your future that you that we could be of help with? I mean, is there any more incumbent worker trainings that you can foresee maybe your employees getting a hold of instead of like the management staff? Just your on the ground employees. Would there be anything that we could help with?
I'm sure I don't right now. I don't know of anything, but absolutely for the skill building side of things, we find ourselves now trying to specialize a little bit more in this manufacturing with some specialty tools. So I would see the possibility for possibly one of the maintenance staff to, try and get some incumbent worker training on how to maintain those specialty tools. But yeah, we definitely want to look to take advantage of this program again if we can.
That's awesome, and it's great that we've had this relationship, because I mean, now you're like you just said, it's a no-brainer. So if you got any training needs that are coming up, you don't even have to think about it. You're like, hey, I'm calling Tony. We're going to see if this will work.
Yeah.
And what I've told a million companies is, hey, ask for any training, because all we can say is no. We've got some regulations that we've got to abide by, but there are so many different things that we could help with. So I'm glad we got this relationship, and it's just moving forward and helping Magura grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I got to know though, Matt, how is it working with Tony? Because sometimes it's so difficult for me to work with him. I'm just kidding.
Tony was excellent. He was straightforward. He was always just an email away, and I had questions along the way. He helped guide me through the process. So I can't say enough how great it was to work with Tony. I have the certificate. I should pan the camera around. It's hanging on my wall right here. I'm proud of it. So and you guys made it possible. So we really appreciate it. And if gave me a bell to ring, I would ring it for the Incumbent Worker Program.
We might have to look into getting a bell for you to ring. We need to, this is the best kept secret, and it shouldn't be a secret. We need that visibility. So during the process, Tony's guiding you along and everything's going pretty well. What would you say was the hardest part of the process?
The class itself, for sure, was the hardest part of the process. Other than that, it was really, I let Tony know when I finished. He asked me for, a couple of Word documents essentially. And yeah, it was super easy. Signing up might have been the hardest part of the process.
Right. And sign up is pretty simple. Yeah. Tony showed me the contract. I'm like, that's it. That's all we do. Yeah. I think government programs get the stigma that there's a lot of bureaucracy. And honestly, on the back end, on our end, there is a lot of bureaucracy. We got to do a lot of paperwork. But Tony has done a really good job in streamlining the process for the participants. So I know people hear WIOA, oh, that's a grant. I don't know. But it sounds like from your experience that was not even that big a deal.
Yeah, it's tougher to go to the DMV than to handle this. That's for sure.
And now you have to have an appointment to go to the DMV.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Some of them in Illinois are moving to appointment only. I just heard that on the radio the other day. Everyone's doing that. I don't know how I'm going to plan anything now. Can't just shoot somewhere on my lunch break these days. Well, is there anything else that either of you guys have on your mind that you want to share about incumbent worker training with any listeners who might be considering it for their businesses?
The only thing I have, and I'm glad we have Matt on as a success story, because the word of mouth is everything. And what Matt just saying, he's been shouting this to his peers across all in Illinois of how great this program can be if they just take advantage of it. So I think that's one of our biggest benefits, is getting these relationships with more and more companies. And Matt is just he's the one that's pushing this through for us too. So
Matt, do you have any suggestions? I know we connected through Courtney Yockey, but are there any other ways you think that any things we should be doing to spread the word more?
Yeah, I should. Yeah, hats off there to Courtney, because without Courtney, we would have never met up, and he really he knew the benefit of the program, and so, man, I really feel nearly any company, just like Tony's saying, if you have training, ask, see if it fits in. I mean, since the Incumbent Worker Program, I know we've done another training. I'm not sure if that fit within the same realm, that the value stream mapping that we did, if that was the same program or a different, but as these opportunities become available to us, I'm just shooting Tony an email and saying, hey, this is what we think. So yeah, that's would be my message. If you have training that your company does, even if it's a regular training, reach out to your local representative and see, does this fit within the incumbent worker, or do you have any other options that this could kind of nestle under?
That was kind of a loaded question, because we've been thinking of a million different ways to try to spread the word. And I was just hoping you took a marketing class somewhere in that certification too, and you had some answer that I didn't have. I was trying there.
Yeah. I mean, it was Courtney for us. I'm very thankful for Courtney for finding this program for us. So I guess the local economic developers need to, sharpen their pencils and get a hold of you guys.
You're right. And I'm gonna remind them that. And now I'm gonna tell them Matt even agrees with me. Come on, guys.
That sounds good.
So, is there anything else, Tony, that you got? Do you have any other questions?
I really can't think of anything. I'm just glad we got Matt on here. I'm glad we have a success story out of all the trainings we've done over the past 5-10 years. And it just really shows that this could help a company grow and become more marketable, more competitive in their industry. So it's just a testament of what these funds can do.
Exactly. And this is such a good example because, like you said, we do this incumbent worker training to get someone into a new position and then backfill these open positions. And this one not only backfilled an open position, but then new positions were created. So then that also gives the opportunity, if it fits in with the company's plan, is our on-the-job training programs as well. So even our programs are kind of stackable in a way. And if things work out in a perfect world, you have all of this support from WIOA funds, from the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act. And we just need more people to take advantage. We need to not be such a hush-hush secret and get visibility out there. So I really appreciate all that you're doing, Matt, in spreading the wonderful word of WIOA, and keep it up. And we just like to see all the cool things that are happening in Magura and all the growth. It's really awesome.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you for the opportunity to educate myself, and the team. And we're super grateful. We'll do what we can to help you guys, help everybody else.
Love it. Perfect. Wonderful.
You've been listening to Workforce Innovation News powered by LWIA 23. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. To learn more about LWIA 23, visit lwa23.net.